Hello and welcome to the Syndicated Vomit Podcast, an extension of the Vomit series of podcasts. I'm your host, Mac Taylor, and today we're here to discuss more of our motherfucking journey with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Episodes 37 through 40. We're almost out of the water of Season 1. After this podcast, we got like 24 more episodes. And now you're saying, Mac, 24 more episodes? That's a lot of fucking episodes. That's like a whole season of My Hero Academia. And that's true. But these early Mighty Morphin seasons had more episodes than the standard Power Rangers season. Because you show, it could be a day-to-day thing. I don't know if this aired Monday through Fridays or if it's just aired one day a week. I'm not entirely sure the syndication formula for it. Because I know when I watched it, by the time I watched it, I don't know if it was on every day or not. I know it reran like a fuck ton, but anyway, that's not really important. We're going to talk about episodes 37 through 40. 37, I didn't actually nab the episode title of 37. I'm not entirely sure why I did that, but it has to do with pollution. So I think it's like cleaning up the air. Cleanup crew. Episode 30, so delete all that business. We're going to start with episode 37, cleanup crew. So we start out, and they have to make a video for this class. Not entirely sure what class and why they need to make a video, but Bulk and Skull are making Bulk, World's Greatest Guy video. And of course, while trying to look cool, Bulk takes a pratfall off the desk because it's Bulk and Skull. There has to be some sort of physical comedy gag in there somewhere. Trini, however, shows her video, which is over pollution. We must stop polluting things. As soon as she starts talking about pollution, we know, Rita's monster this week's gonna revolve around pollution. And you would be correct in assuming that because we get the Polluticorn, a unicorn type of kaiju. It's really like it's a blue horse guy with a horn, so it's a unicorn, but like when you think unicorn, you think something a little less freaky, right? But it's a unicorn that pollutes things, so Polluticorn, very self-explanatory. Also an odd combination. Like sometimes with these monsters, it makes sense. Like Pudgy Pig eats everything, is a slob, kind of makes sense. The Terror Toad turns things into balls and eats them. Like frogs have long tongues, are able to pull things in. That also makes a little bit of sense, Some of these monsters of the week per se make sense. Now, this isn't along Chunky Chicken lines where it's like this makes zero sense of why this chicken just has a random thing of scissors, but just pollution and unicorn, it was a stretch, but at the same time, like the name goes together, it rolls off the tongue a little bit. I'm not down on this like I was some of the other ones. I'm okay with this monster of the week, but as far as like, is it a great one? No, but is it Mr. Tickle Sneezer? Also no. So Jason and Zach are karateing the recycling because there's no other way to crush cans than by hi-yahing them. They are part of the cleanup club. And again, when do these kids fucking sleep? How many clubs and extracurriculars and classes and all this business? Like how do they balance it? I have a hard time balancing podcasting, filming, and sleeping. I have a tough time trying to find time to do all this stuff. And apparently they have hit a time loop and can just do all these things on their day-to-day and still go to high school. Bulk and Skull, they have Ernie filming their workout routine, which you'll see a little later in their Bulk World's Greatest Guy video. Why? Also, when it shows the group cleaning up this park, which looks like someone literally dumped like 7 bags of trash in it. Like, do parks get that bad? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least the ones in my town, which, most of the time people only went to the park to buy or sell weed in my town. But I don't see this monumental amount of trash. So, like, and it really wasn't even indicated that the Polluticorn was here yet. And it was just like, why is this park so dirty? It is a little odd. Like, it was a little on the nose, just so they could be like, oh man, look what they're doing. This trash is stinky, and this park should be beautiful, but it's not, because it's don't litter, kids. It was a bit much, So they do a montage of the group cleaning everything, which involves a ridiculous amount of flipping. Like, they are just doing all sorts of flips, throwing trash in bags, and then, of course, that makes the montage go faster. And now the park is clean. And Bulk shows up and tries to take credit for it in his Bulk World's Greatest Guy video. It ends up just falling into it. Because, again, wherever Bulk and Skull are, there must be physical comedy. So the putties arrive, and Billy, again, keeps, like, the flipping thing from earlier. Like, he does this, like, spin flip. I actually, like, think it's the same footage of him from the trash thing they just reused. But he does, like, a spinning corkscrew kind of flip. I don't know if they had a trampoline there, or because I doubt someone can do this standing. But, like, it looked like a lot of fun, but I wouldn't want to pick up trash when I did it. I just want to do the actual flip part. So they're beating up all the putties, because it's not that hard. And at one point, they make, like, a cheerleading tower. And it was a little weird. And then the Polluticorn arrives, so they morph in action. And the Polluticorn, his wings are kind of like the King Sphinx, like they blow everybody around. And his horn shoots beams. Then Goldar and Scorpina arrive. And just kind of start beating up on everybody, so the Rangers have to retreat back to the exposition machine. And meanwhile, while they're there, Polluticorn attacks the recycling center. So they're like, shit, we got to go back. And they go back to fight him, because, of course, the Polluticorn would attack the recycling center. So Jason takes him on and gets completely whooped. And the others fight Goldar and Scorpina. But Jason does what anyone would do in a situation. He gets the Dragon Shield, which he does not use as much as he should. And that apparently just gives him all the power in the world, and his sword turns into the saber, which cuts off the unicorn's, or the Polluticorn's horn. However, Rita grows her monster, and for some reason, when the monsters grow, they got, like they cut the unicorn's horn off, but when he grows, still got the horn. Same thing with, like, Eye Guy. When they destroyed the big eye and he grew, he still had the center eye. Things like that. It's like, if you're going to have a weakness to cut off, you should keep that off, right? Nevertheless, it's big, so they get the Dinosaurs, get the Megazord, and Power Slash, and that's it. They fucking win with the Megazord Power Slash, which we haven't really seen in a long time. So then we get more news footage of, like, everyone, we should thank the Power Rangers for saving the day yet again against Rita's evil monsters. And we finally get to see the thing that we're looking forward to seeing is Bulk and Skull. Well, first they knock over all the recycling towers, being goofy. And we finally see the World's Greatest Guy video, which is mostly just him falling around. And, like, the workout footage with Ernie is, like, them trying to lift weights and struggling to and just falling all over the place. It's a lot of fun with this video. Again, Paul Scheer and Jason Narvey are geniuses. So we end. Everyone laughs at this video, including the teacher, because everyone must laugh at Bulk and Skull. But we're starting to move out of, like, oh, they're bullies, let's beat them up and give them their comeuppance, to yeah, they're still, like, assholes, but, like, we love them, I think that the writers are starting to see that reception. And that brings us to episode, and also, before we get in episode 38, zero mention of Tommy in this episode. Like, zero, like, after Green with Evil, we really didn't earn Green with Evil. After the Green Candle, we really didn't see Tommy that much anymore. And he said, like, I hope you guys don't treat me any different because I'm not a Power Ranger. He's not even, like, with the group. Like, we got the Dragon Shield in this episode, but we didn't get the Dragon Zord. They used a regular Megazord here. And it's like Tommy doesn't exist at school anymore. Like, we should still see him, hanging out with him. Episode 38 is Bad Reflections, where Rita is making disguising putties as the Rangers and the main villain as the Red Ranger. Which is basically when they disguise themselves as the Rangers, it's just like the actors and actresses with sunglasses on. Like, it's the only thing that makes them like the evil versions is sunglasses indoors. Because the worst crime you can commit is wearing your sunglasses indoors. And then we get another thing where Bulk and Skull show up, and Skull hits on the imposter Kim, which is flirting back with him, like in the Power Punks episode when Kimberly was the punk version. She also hit on Skull, and so we get like that gag reused in this a little bit. And what makes them bad people is that they walk down the hall and they throw nerds around into lockers, and then they put laundry detergent in the water fountain to make suds come out of it. So that's of all the things Rita can be doing with evil versions of the Power Rangers. They went to school, shoved a couple of nerds, and put laundry detergent in the water fountain. Great use of evilness, I've got to say. And when the fake Billy pushes one of the nerdy guys, he goes, "Hasta la pizza." What the fuck kind of... Who says that? Like, I understand the Hasta la Vista reference to Terminator, but why did pizza get thrown in there? It'd been different if he, like, hit him in the face with a pizza, or, like, he was eating a pizza and he shoved it back out. No, like, there was no pizza involved. Why was it mentioned here? It didn't sound intimidating at all. It just sounded goofy and out of place. It was very strange. So they do that, and the principal shows up to get a drink of the water fountain, and his toupee falls off and he gets covered in suds. And then it just so happens those Rangers leave, and the other Rangers show up, and the real Rangers end up in detention with Bulk and Skull, because Bulk and Skull are always in detention. And there's a funny little moment where Bulk walks up to Jason. He's like, "You're in my seat." Jason's like, "I don't see your name on it." And he points down. He says, "See? B-U-U-L-K." Which is not Bulk, it's Bulk. Indicating that Bulk cannot spell his own name. And then Skull goes to hit on Kimberly and then is rejected. Again, recycled from the Power Punks episode. So, and then we also get like a Breakfast Club reference, and I'm not entirely sure if that's what was the point here, but they're all in detention, and Bulk pulls out like a lunchbox and pulls out like a Mary Poppins amount of shit out of this lunchbox, but has like all these sandwiches and a pie and a soda and a banana and like all this business, which I don't know if this was what was meant to be, but it's kind of like in the Breakfast Club when Andy has like 6 sandwiches and a bag of chips for lunch. So, and then Skull goes, "Oh, can I have something?" And he hands him the soda, and then Skull opens it and gets soda all over him, and then tries to spray it on Trini and ends up hitting Bulk. So again, wherever Bulk and Skull are, physical comedy will ensue. It's a number 1 rule. Always remember that, guys. And then Bulk goes to throw a pie at him and hits him with the pie. And so we got, sandwich gag, soda gag, pie gag, like all in a row, right? So the fake Rangers start attacking the town with like the blasters and stuff. And I'm like, yes, that is exactly what you should. That's the first thing you should have done. Now, I guess they wanted to get the Rangers in detention so that they couldn't interfere, but that was a little bit like you should have tried to get them in jail if you didn't want them to interfere. Like detention's a little low scale. You should have like robbed a bank or something as, Jason and crew. Then they get arrested, and then it's a lot harder for them to get out of prison. Don't know why detention was the go-to exactly. But they're wreaking havoc. The Rangers are stuck in detention because they don't want to morph in front of Bulk and Skull, but, the pressing matters. So the school goes on lockdown because of what's happening. And they see all this because Bulk and Skull have a TV in the detention because it's implied that they're in there so often that they know this place like clockwork and they have hit a TV to watch cartoons. I don't know if this is like a lunchtime detention because clearly this isn't an after-school detention because school on lockdown. So, clearly there were still kids there. But, because every school does it different. Some do Saturday detentions or whatever. Some do, like mine did lunchtime detention, and then, some do like 10 minutes after school. So they basically tell Bulk and Skull that, hey, you want to see a magic trick? I'll make everyone disappear. And they have them close their eyes, cover their eyes and their ears and count down from 10. And it's implied that Bulk and Skull don't know how to count down from 10 because they keep saying like 7 and 8 like over and over again. Because somehow they're in high school, but they have the brain capacity of like a kindergartner. So it fools them and they're able to morph in action. Although Jason yells out, it's morphing time when they do. So like, wouldn't they have heard that though? Like if you yell something, even if someone's plugging their ears, you should be able to hear that. Nevertheless though, it works with Bulk and Skull. And they morph into action to fight the fake Rangers. There's actually some pretty cool like Rangers fighting their duplicates scenes, especially with Trini and Kim versus their duplicates. At one point, Kim goes to help Trini, but accidentally grabs the fake one and gets like beat up for it. But they end up overcoming them, and then they turn back into putties. So I guess when they were turned into the Rangers, they got stronger, because normally putties would not be that much trouble. And Billy manages to beat his, and Zach beats his, and then Bulk and Skull are looking for them, thinking they're in the school. There's fun little they're looking in cabinets and stuff. It's kind of a fun little thing there. And then Jason beats the villain who's disguised as him, which, that one the villain managed to get a few hits in on Jason, but Jason, of course, was not going to be overpowered. So the villain is like, it has something to do with mirrors. Like they're implying that the mirrors are what caused the duplications. But that doesn't really make any sense of why that would happen and give them powers and things, and why they're able to be the Rangers when the Rangers aren't next to them if it's technically a mirror reflection gag. Also, second one of Rita's villains that can disguise itself as something else. But was a lot cooler when Cyclops disguised himself as Zords as compared to disguising yourself as the Rangers. For power-wise, anyway. So they beat up on this. He shoots like mirror lasers for a minute. But then, he has an electric whip too. I'm like, where did that come from? Wouldn't that have been useful when he was fighting as Jason to whipped out the laser whip? But the Rangers get another like cheerleader tower formation and do like a tri-beam. It's a triangle and it just reminds me of like Tien doing the tri-beam. And then they combine the power weapons, and that kills the villain. Like, they don't even use the Zord. So again, and no mention of Tommy at all in this entire episode. So I'm like, did he leave? Like when he lost his Ranger powers, did he change schools? Like, where is he? Did they shoot this before They did all the Green Ranger stuff. I mean, clearly they had the power shield for the last episode, but it's like you didn't even not one mention, especially when the fake Rangers showed up to have Tommy to like Kim, this isn't you, and then like kind of get an idea that maybe they like you still just because he doesn't have the Green Ranger powers doesn't mean they can't use Tommy to further the plot or to interact with the Ranger. They don't have to just completely write him out because he doesn't have Ranger powers anymore. So I just found that so strange. There was not even a mention of him. And they killed a villain here with the power weapons, which hasn't happened in a long time. So the Rangers, of course, the news is like, well, I'm glad that the Rangers stopped those fake Rangers. I knew the Power Rangers would have never turned on us. So that happens in the news footage. And Bulk and Skull are like, hey, Principal, they're gone. And then the Principal comes back and they're not actually gone. And instead of being mad about it, Bulk and Skull are just like, oh, the magic trick worked. And it's a fun little end of the episode, you know. Which brings us into another two-parter, Doomsday Part 1. So the Rangers are all over the papers, which kind of dates this show a little bit. And the paper is saying there's going to be a Power Rangers Day now, which I didn't exactly say what the date was for it. And that the actual Power Rangers will make an appearance there, and that just tells the kids that they need to be there. Which, having a giant public thing about the Power Rangers and how the Power Rangers scheduled to be there, wouldn't that just scream for Rita to make a plan for that? Like, you know, wouldn't that really put a target on your back for invasion? It doesn't seem like the best idea, right? So Bulk and Skull, they want to make their superhero debut at the park, and we'll find out more what that is later. So Rita's whole grandiose plan is she has a Zord for Goldar named Cyclopsis, which, why wasn't that used before? Like, why did you wait until the Rangers got strong and all the stuff with the Green Ranger? And like why wouldn't you have sent a Zord to fight their Zord? Like, why have you waited this long to introduce this plan? This is episode 39, so you've had 38 failed attempts at beating these Rangers. Well, you know, roughly. You've had like 30 failed attempts at beating these Rangers, and you're just now sending down this giant Zord that Goldar has? Why? But nevertheless, that's what they're doing. And so they're at the Power Rangers Day Festival, and Zach goes to hit on Angela, and she turns him down. She's like, oh, now if you were the Black Power, or no, she shouldn't say Black Power Ranger, but she said, if you were the Power Ranger, I would date you then. And then, of course, there's irony because Zach is the Black Ranger. But, yeah, I think she said Power Ranger. I don't think she specifically said the Black Ranger. I don't know if that was that on the nose. So Zach's like, we got to morph now because he wants to go hit on her. And then Kim's like, I miss Tommy. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. Why are we just now mentioning him? Where the fuck is he? Like, he should be here. I got like really mad about this. So Bulk and Skull head to a photo booth and change into Bulkster and Super Skull, which is like these very flashy, like low-level costumes. Like Skull's cape is like on the front of him. Like he keeps having to like not like it's like a emo kid's hair. He keeps having to like flip it. And then everyone was beamed away. And I was like, Scotty, no. I know a Star Trek reference in this podcast. I couldn't get any nerdier. So everyone's beamed out of there. Apparently, Zordon's explanation is there was a vortex beam sent from the moon. So I was like, why could we not have seen that? Like, we couldn't have made some footage of just a little beam thing shooting from the moon. That'd been really cool. But no, we just saw everyone just kind of color grade out of there. So she moves the palace closer. Rita moves her palace to Earth because apparently Cyclopsis can't be far away from the palace and without losing power, kind of like the Zords with Zordon. So Cyclopsis is summoned, and Goldar's like super giddy. He's like super happy about this, which again, I don't know why they waited this long to do this. So they morph in action. Some of the Dinozords get the Megazord out there, and Cyclopsis just whoops ass. He has like this horn beam, kind of like the Polluticorn. I mean, just beating him up. So they summon the Dragon Zord, which shoots missiles, which don't work either. And then he's just tossing the Zords around. So they put Dragon Zord in battle mode. And like this magic dust comes off Cyclopsis and hurts the Tyrannozord. I'm like, what was that? Like, what was that supposed to be? They never really elaborate on any of these powers that Cyclopsis has. And then it shoots missiles and extendo fists. So, like, this thing has, like, Mecha Godzilla levels of tools. So Zordon calls Titanus for them, which that's the first time, like, Zordon's called a Zord, right? Usually they go, I call upon the power of Titanus or whatever. But no, he's like, fuck, you guys, Titanus, get out there. Like, Zordon's sweating this, right? Which is, like, not really something we see very often out of him. He's usually, like, cool, calm, collected. So the Ultra Zord then blows Cyclopsis away, completely destroys it. Then Rita gets mad and buries Titanus. Like, she's able to force it underground, which, again, if that's something she could have done, why didn't she do that to the Megazord when the kids were in it? Like, it just seems weird to do it to their auxiliary Zord, right? But she puts Titanus underground. And Lokar comes back, which a little late to the party, there, Lokar. And which he manages to resurrect Cyclopsis. So now the Rangers are in trouble. And then they go back to recharge their Zords, because I guess they have to take 12 hours to recharge their Zords. Which, if that was the case, why is Rita waiting 12 hours at a time to attack? Like, why shouldn't, like, she just make another monster after they defeat one and eventually the Zords run out of power? Again, I know it's supposed to be, you know, Rita's never supposed to win, but, like, it seems like there's a few strategies that, you know, there's big holes, right? But they have to defeat Lokar, and then Cyclopsis can't be resurrected. But if they lose, the people will be stuck in that moon vortex forever, which is like, oh no. So that brings us to Doomsday Parte Dos. Jason wants the Zords at half power because he doesn't want to wait. Zordon's like, well, no, that's risky. And everyone's like, it's a risk we'll have to take. So they morph in action, get the Megazord, and Cyclopsis slices an arm off of it. And it uses a wrist laser that I didn't know it had to get him away. So, which the next time you see the Zords, the arm part's back, like the Mastodon Zord's not broken. So I guess you can slice an arm off of it and it'll just regenerate. I'm not entirely sure why, but it'd have been a lot cooler if he sliced that off and they said, well, we can never use the Mastodon Zord ever again. Like, that would have been major, right? But it wasn't that major what happened. So they call it the Dragon Zord, and it gets its tail cut off. So, you know, Cyclopsis ain't no joke. And, like, Lokar's just kind of zapped him, like, just being a dick about it. Like, he's like the Emperor with the Force Light. He's like, isn't this inconvenient? And it's weird to see a giant head. Going, a little fucking weird. So Rita then shorts the Zords, which start disappearing with, like, the negative effect of editing. Which I guess Billy said that the security system, if the Zords are going to get beat, they just go back to where they're supposed to be and it ejects the Rangers and demorphs them. Would have been nice to know that before that happened, though, right? Like, Billy kind of withheld some fuck. He pulled a Zord on. He just waited until shit went wrong. Like, oh, hey, by the way, this happened. So they go to Billy's garage to reestablish communication with Zordon. And then Goldar and the putties arrive, and Goldar's like, ha ha ha, I'll stop you, and he, like, throws some shit off a desk, like some villains in Police Academy. It's like, ha ha, I fucking knocked your shit off, how about that? Like, it was very odd. But Alpha manages to hack into Rita's system and finds certain key weaknesses to things. So the Rangers are sent to the exposition machine. And basically, the key to defeating Cyclops is it studies, like, it learns to fight as it goes against its opponent. So if they keep changing the modes of the Zords, it won't have time to find a countermeasure by the time they get to Titanus. Because apparently Titanus is not underground anymore. Apparently Zordon was able to get him back. Again, I don't know what, like, none of this makes any sense when you look at it again, right? So, they morph back, get the Dinozords, fight with them for a little bit, then the Dragon Zord, then the Megazord, then the Dragon Zord in battle mode, and Cyclopsis can't keep up, so Lokar starts attacking, but then they get the Ultra Zord and take Cyclopsis down because it's like, can't keep up, blah, 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 and then it just gives up. So Rita retreats, and they never beat Lokar, so he should have been able just to resurrect Cyclopsis again. There's a few plot holes here that I don't think everyone really took into account when they were writing this thing. But I guess all is well, and Rita retreats back to the moon. Then the Rangers go to their meet and greet. Everyone is back from the moon vortex. And who shows up but Tommy? To be like, the Power Rangers, because these kids are like, the Red Ranger's the best. And one's like, no, the Black Ranger, no, the Blue Ranger. And the girl shows up, and she's like, you're the Pink and the Yellow Ranger, because you gotta say all of them. And then Tommy's like, they're all pretty awesome. And he thumbs up everybody on the stage. And it's like, that's it? That's it? That's all he's gonna say? And he's smiling at him, and they all do their meet and greet. And that's awesome. And then Zordon offers that they can either step away or stay as Rangers. Of course, they're not going to step away. That comes in Season 2 when they don't get that pay upgrade. So it's an easy decision. And then Alpha comes in sneezing because he got a computer virus. Yeah, go fuck yourself on that writing. But all in all, so that was Doomsday, Partos Uno and Dos. It could have been a lot better. It's one of the weaker two-parters I've seen thus far because there is a lot of glaring plot holes in this one. And it just, there were some things I liked, and like Bulk and Skull, anything. The Ranger Festival was neat. Again, kind of a bit of a hazard, but, good. I just feel like they should use Tommy more. Tommy needs to make more of an appearance. I know he does later with all the other stuff. But, as a non-Ranger, he should still be their friend. They have all these memories with him. He should still, be a part of their group in the day-to-day life. But we haven't yet to see him with them at school. So that covers the 37 through 40. Stay tuned next time. We talk about episodes 41 through 44. Guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Got plenty of podcasts coming in 2021. Also, plenty of videos and all lots of other things. I've been super busy, and I'm super thankful for all the support. Most importantly, guys, stay safe, stay nerdy.